Good evening, everyone. Sports, a passion, an activity that traditionally served as a global unifier. Race, religion, politics, socioeconomic status, and gender are all thrown out the window when supporters band together to celebrate the result of a competition. As Nelson Mandela once said, sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. I, Bhavna Venkatraman, and my colleague Geeta Krishnan welcome you on behalf of Wiki Karnataka Human Resource Council to one of the unique Thursday Lives where we have the opportunity to host not just national but internationally acclaimed sportspersons. A first for us.
Wiki Karnataka Human Resource Council is a part of Wiki, a national business chamber whose endeavor is to boost and build women's entrepreneurship businesses through greater engagement with government, institutions, global trade, and networks. It is present in about 120 countries with a collective strength of about 250,000 members. Wiki Karnataka Resource Council is an ambitious initiative headed by our president, Shikha Gupta, and vice president, Rani Srinivas, with a team of accomplished women from diverse organizations and various walks of life to create a platform where women strive to make a difference. It touches upon pertinent topics, current events, sensitive issues, and much more. Regular sporting activities help one to stay healthy and disciplined and gain a good balance of physical and mental growth, including social and psychological growth too. Through participation in sports and games, one can gain various skills, experience, and confidence that are helpful for developing the personality. We have with us today three such people from the sports fraternity who would be sharing their journey, experience, and learnings from their careers. Our first speaker for today is joining us all the way from Mauritius. Over to my co host, Bhavna.
So from Mauritius, we have Anas Johri, born in
Hi.
Indonesia, grown up in Sweden for 8 years, and living in Mauritius currently. Anas is a renowned badminton coach who is the company director of Anas Johri Badminton Academy and also runs a business, Rapstyle MU. He was the head coach of Mauritius badminton national team from 2015 to 2017. The year 2015 was an extremely eventful year for Anas, where he held Best Coach of the Year. His team won the Best Team of the Year award at the National Sports Award Mauritius. The team won 7 out of 7 gold medals at the Indian Ocean Games and 3 gold medals at the African Games. Wow, what a year, Anas.
Yeah.
With a degree in English literature from University of Pelita, Indonesia, Anas believes his education and international exposure has given him the opportunity to contribute as a coach for not just national but international players. Welcome, Anas.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm glad to be here with you, or everyone. So nice meeting you, everyone.
Arrived in
So let's have
Mauritius
a
over 2 months ago, and as the head coach, he immediately put in place training structures he's familiar with, coming from a leading badminton nation.
I have 10 times training in a week. It's 2 times a day.
And if you want to see more content and info, you can always log into our website at www.webstyle.mu. In the meantime, that's it for me from today. I'll see you back very soon. Cheers.
Over to you, Geeta, to introduce our next speaker.
Sharath is a member of Karnataka Ranji squad and is currently the wicket-keeper for the team. He has represented Karnataka in various national and state tournaments and also captained the under-16 Karnataka state team for the Vijay Merchant Trophy, under-19 Karnataka state team for the Vinod Mankad tournament, and various zonal games in the interzonal under-16 under-19 tournaments. Some of the other coveted tournaments which he has represented include Under-19 Kuch Behar Tournament, Test Series 2015, and Karnataka Premier League T20 Series year on year since 2015. He has played for the Under-23 Colonial Naidu Tournament in 2015-16 and 2016-17 and continues to play for the state team. Welcome, Sharath.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant catch. That is an outstanding bit of work behind the stumps. And a wicket at a really good time. And it's a dot ball, more importantly, as well. What a catch that is from Sharath Srinivas. Oh, yes, game on.
Well, you take a four anywhere, and he nearly got it, but just the wonderful skills of a wicket-keeper. Another wicket to Vizag. Just have a look at the skills here. Sees it, dives, two hands, love it. Just love it. And now they're in all...
What about your 6 foot 15 inches, man?
He's fielding. Oh, get it! Reach out and catch it, Suhail!
It's coming straight at us.
Our third speaker for today is Tanvi Lad. Tanvi is an international badminton player, having represented the country in the women's singles category at the highest level of world badminton. She was a member of the Indian team that created history in 2014 at the Incheon Asian Games and Uber Cup 2014-16 by winning the bronze medal. She was a national champion in 2016 and has made the country proud by winning multiple gold medals in various international championships like the Welsh Open and BUCS in 2017 and Bahrain International Challenge and Swiss Open in 2013. Tanvi has a master's degree in sports management from Loughborough University. She is a certified strength and conditioning specialist. Tanvi also runs a highly inspirational educational podcast called The Millennial Athlete, which is based on interviews with top Indian sportspersons across different sports. Welcome, Tanvi.
Thank you so much for having me on the show today. It's a pleasure.
Great. So without further delay, right? I'm really glad to have each of you all on the show. So my first question is probably we'll start with Sharath, right? What motivated you to become a sports person? And what age did you start? Who inspired you, Sharath?
As a kid, actually, I started off as a swimmer, and sports is something that's kept me going all the time. I just wanted to play, and I had like a lot of energy in me. So my parents, put me in all the possible sports as a kid, and I take part in all the sporting events in school. And eventually I realized that cricket was something that was very close to me, and gave me a lot of happiness playing the sport, being a part of teams, helping one another and growing together and things like that. So they put me in an academy when I was about 11 years old, and I think I played one of the school tournaments when I was 12, an under-19 tournament. and the school team didn't have a wicket keeper, and I was like a pretty short chap, so they asked me if I wanted to take up the role of wicket keeping, and yeah, I said okay, and that was my first ever tournament that I played, and ever since then it just gave me a lot of happiness, to be a part of the team and support one another, and that's how my journey started as a sportsman.
Okay, and you knew then that you wanted to also make a profession out of cricket?
No, I think that was much later in my career. When I was about 16, is when I realized that okay, I got picked for the National Cricket Academy, and I got to lead Karnataka for the first time. So that's when I met people of different states when they came for the national camp, and that kind of gave me a lot of inspiration, because when we were under 16, there was the under 19 World Cup going on, and to see people play for the country, wear the Indian jersey, and they were just about 2-3 years older to me, so that drove me, and I was like, why not? Like I also have it in me. So that's how it started. I think it was about 16 or 17 when I actually took the sport seriously. Until then, it was just like a passion and like playing for school and intercamp matches and stuff like that.
Great, great. How about you, Tanvi? What motivated you? When did you start?
I think as a kid, I was pretty much into multiple sports. I think I started, doing a lot of these summer camps across swimming, badminton, tennis. There was too much energy which needed to be channelized. So almost, I think at the age of 4 or 5 was when my sporting journey really started, which was great. Thankful to my parents for actually encouraging me to pick up different sports and get into being a sports person early on. And then I think my mom used to play badminton at a local gymkhana. So I used to finish my swimming classes and go and sit with a box in my hand and watch her play. So that's where it actually began. She enrolled me for a summer camp at the same gymkhana, and one thing led to another. Started taking a liking for the sport, and then as you win like school inter-school tournaments, district level tournaments, then you play for the state. So that's basically how the journey began. One thing led to another, and every time you win an event, you get motivated to push harder. Uh, Full of setbacks, of course, um, but they were just opportunities to make comebacks. And I think, yeah, that's basically how it began. I started playing at the age of 9, and step by step rose through the ranks.
Impressive, impressive. Anas, how about you? Playing
Um,
and then into coaching.
well, I grew up in the badminton family, so sports it's always been in my family. So yeah, I am fortunate enough. I grew up in a badminton family. Though I like football, but I didn't have the chance to. I mean, I had the chance to choose when I was little, but I was doing better in badminton, and now I'm into coaching as well because I learned also from my dad eventually. So it's just like. It's just it's a family thing going on in my family. So I am lucky enough to learn from my dad as well. So that's what got them. I mean, that's how I got into sports. That's how it is.
Okay, okay, great.
Yeah.
So, so maybe Anas, we can continue with you only, right? What was the proudest moment for you in this whole career of yours?
Oh wow. I think as an athlete, I think I didn't get much chance. I mean, when I was a professional player, but I think I was lucky when I was a coach. So by far the most happy that thing that I ever done in my coaching career was when we got the 7 out of 7 gold medal in Indian Ocean Games 2015, and then that was my first role as well as the head coach. So it was something really unforgettable for me. So yeah, and also I think that's it for my career. The highlights of my career was the first time that I became the head coach in any country. So and then I got that result, which is unbelievable. So shout out also to my players who've worked hard at that time.
So, who was your role model, Sharath and Tanvi?
Um, you mean to start with, to pick up the racket?
Yes.
I think it was my mum to a certain extent because she was the only one in the family who played badminton. Um, so yeah, I think to start with, it was my mother. She would chauffeur me around the city, take me to my badminton lessons, which wasn't easy because in a city like Bombay, balancing your education, balancing morning training, evening training, studying, finishing assignments. And I was in an ICSE school, so the pressure of finishing assignments and things on time was always there. So yeah, I think the whole balancing act continued till almost the 10th grade, and my mom kind of helped me get through that phase. So pretty much the force behind the
How
story.
about you, Sharath?
I think it'd be my father initially who I think put me into cricket, because I still have like baby pictures of me, like I think when I was 2 or 3, I have a bat in hand, and he'd throw like a plastic ball at home, and just those small kind of things. So I think cricket started there. Like he apparently would play for his college back then in his days, and once I started playing the sport, I really looked up to Rahul Dravid sir, and I was fortunate enough to play for his club, and I have a couple of partnerships with him in the inter-club tournaments as well. When I was 16, again, when I started taking my sport seriously, and both my parents have really been supportive, like throughout. They've never said no to anything that I wanted to do. They've let me, explore. They've given me the freedom to go there and enjoy myself, and not put that extra kind of pressure. Of course, my mom was a little educational oriented, like any other mother would not be worried that they basically want you to have like a basic degree, and it's always there, irrespective of whatever you're playing. It's like, no, like what have you studied? So, and considering how much my mother's already achieved in her life as well, she wanted me to study. So yeah, but I'm really grateful to I've had such lucky parents, and constantly backed me throughout. So again, like Tami said, my parents as well are the force behind my success and my career.
Great, great. So, apart from the sport and the training that each of you all go through, what are some of the other skills that you feel, being in the sports field, you have been fortunate, I would say, to have developed a little more than probably non-sports persons, right? What are some of the skills that you feel you have been able to enhance?
I think the mental strength, and the power to be resilient enough, to come back day in and day out and repeat the same kind of things. Because in a sport, sometimes you win, and on another day you fail, but you just can't give up there. It's a constant motivation, and you got to stick to your routines constantly. So it requires like tremendous mental strength, irrespective of feeling good or not good. You can't uh, give yourself that kind of excuse saying, okay, I'm not feeling good enough today, but you still got to stick to your process and go out there and do the same kind of thing. I think that requires a lot of um, discipline, dedication. You got to be determined. So that's something that I picked up from my sport and in life as well. Like, some days you have off days, everybody feels the highs and lows. I think in order to be able to manage that, off the ground as well, the sport has taught me a lot, and it's also taught me how important it is to be humble and grounded. Like there are a lot of these athletes who have achieved so much, and Rahul sir is a great example. For him to come and play club cricket with us shows the kind of humility that he has. So these kind of things have definitely impacted my life off the ground as well.
How about you, Anas?
That's true. I agree what Sharat just said. Mentality, it's one of the important thing that you have to do the same thing all over again and all over again, you know. So mentally, you gotta be strong, and also you gotta be disciplined because you need to sacrifice some stuff that you like. For example, you cannot. I mean, life as an athlete is not the same like a regular person. You need to sacrifice quite a lot. You have to go abroad if you have to, you know, in a young age. So, and also you gotta listen to your coach, of course. But mentality is the key of the strength. Like Sharat said, I totally agree with that.
Tanvi, you have anything to add apart from mental
Absolutely.
strength?
I think plenty of life skills, because early on, especially at an early age, 15, 16, you end up living at the national center on your own. So you're living with teammates, you're away from family, you're away from your comfort zone pretty early on, and you learn to kind of become quite self-sufficient, which helps you as a singles player as well, because on the court you're alone and there is high pressure. There are pressure situations, there are ups and downs, even career wise, and even in training every day isn't, there are ups and downs. So you learn to deal with everything that comes with being a professional sports person, and that kind of translates into life in general. You kind of grow up early on. I would say you learn to become self-sufficient, you become really resilient, you manage your time well. Things that maybe kids of our regular people who study would probably pick up when they start working, or that comes in a little later, but we pick those skills up at the age of 15, 16. So I think that's helping now. Yeah, that's pretty much, I think, more than the skills that the sport teaches you on court. There is so much that you learn that you can apply in life in general, and that goes a long way.
Yes.
So, Anas, this is for you. As a coach, how do you motivate them?
Discipline, as always. But at times I can be very hard on my players. But when they have to rest, like normally I give them when in the weekend, I don't forbid them to do something so they can enjoy. But at least you should enjoy, like just to have a relaxation. You go to your family or you go have fun with your friends. But in the end, on Monday again, you got to come to training as always, in the morning and in the afternoon. So basically, the number one key is to be disciplined and then to guide them through the right path to be the best in the world. That's what I can say about that. Because believe me, there's a lot of things, as an athlete, like if you don't have discipline or mentally strong enough, I mean, also, those talented players, they need to be disciplined as well. So you cannot just have talent. You got to have those things around you as well. Discipline, hardworking, and then the dedication, and then also those things will come along to be a good athlete. That's what I always told my players.
How do you keep yourself motivated, Sharath and
It's
Tanvi?
just the dream that nobody sees that I see. Like I mean, it's each for their own. Like everybody dreams. So similarly, I have a dream that I want to chase and achieve. So it just keeps me going. And luckily, I'm very fortunate to have found the right kind of people in terms of helping me for my fitness, in terms of my game, in terms of my mentorship. So yeah, that that kind of motivation that I get from all of them, that keeps me going. And yeah, wearing the blue jersey and playing for another IPL franchisee is like a big dream, like it's a big vision. So yeah, it's just fun to visualize yourself whenever you're watching a game that India's playing on screen. Like I want to be there. Like I want to go out there and play for my country, make my country proud, make whatever IPL franchisee that I play for, make the franchisee proud, and even my the state team, make the state team proud. So these kind of small things, keep me going, and um, yeah, that's my motivation factor. That's it.
And Tanvi?
So I think at every stage of your career, the factor motivating you kind of changes. Your goals change when you're at a, at a state level. It's becoming state champion. When you go out and play, all India tournaments, it's winning that national title, becoming national champion, and then it is representing your country. Then, of course, breaking into a certain ranking bracket or winning a world championship medal, winning a Commonwealth game medal. So, at every stage, the goals kind of change. But I think the one factor that stays constant is the hunger for self improvement. So whether you're winning, whether you're achieving those goals, whether you've had a bad loss and come back to the drawing board, it's that hunger within to wake up every day and be a better version of yourself that motivates you. And I think now it's become such a part of me. It's become a lifestyle. It's intrinsic. So I don't have to make a special effort to stay motivated. Yes, of course, you read, you have role models, you watch documentaries that keep you motivated. But intrinsically, I think I do feel motivated to be a better version of myself every day, and that keeps me going.
That's beautiful, right?
Thank you.
So all of you spoke about mental strength, right? And obviously playing on the court, playing on the field. There are a lot of situations where there's this pressure. There's pressure. You need to adapt yourself to different situations. It's so dynamic, right? How do you handle that? How do you handle pressure? How do you handle nervousness? I don't know if you'll still feel nervous before a match, but any kind of pressurizing situations. Maybe we'll start with Tanvi.
So pressure is something that's part of the profession. You pick it up, you learn to deal with it early on. And nerves are good. I think, feeling nervous, feeling anxious means that you actually means that you've put in the effort and you actually care about doing well. Sometimes if you haven't really put in the hours in training and you've just entered a tournament, you're not going to feel, because deep down you know that I haven't done my work. But the very fact that you're feeling the pangs, you're feeling nervous, means that you actually care about the work that you've put in and about the result. So pressure is something that each of us learn to adapt to. We pick it up in training. We make sure that and very often at national camp you're with your teammates, you're with competitors, you're always expected to deliver. So that, subconsciously, by virtue of the profession, you learn to deal with pressure. You learn to become mentally strong. You learn to deal with failures, and you still come back, because giving up is not an option. Hanging your, yes, you sometimes have a bad day, but then you have a mentor, a coach who pulls you back, gets you back on track. So being resilient, falling 5 times and getting up the 6th time and actually trying becomes second nature. That's a conscious effort to start with, but I think as you progress along your athletic career, it just becomes second nature. And in the current Olympics, actually, we did find a lot of the athletes across different sports talk about the fact that they were overawed by the situation, by the fact that they were playing the Olympics. With the whole pandemic, there was a lot of uncertainty to start with. Will the Olympics happen? Will it not happen? They've reached Tokyo, and now suddenly there's talk of having to go back. So a lot of our shooters a lot of the swimmers, badminton players. We had Sai Praneeth actually, who went on record to say that he cracked under pressure. So that is again where the concept of sports psychology that's coming up. It does help to have a psychologist or a mentor or someone who you have faith in to just be your sounding board at that point, because ultimately you've done the work, you are physically capable of playing at that level, but it's all the noise that goes on between your ears that needs to be kept in check to help you perform. So mental training is something that as an athlete is needed. You have to cultivate it, you have to work on it like you work on your body.
Well said. Well said. So, Anas, to hear from you as a coach, is there any particular training that you give apart anything particular about how to deal with pressure?
um, if you ask me now, believe me, I'm more nervous when I'm as a coach now looking at my players in the tournament than I was when I was a player playing in a big event. So believe me, I got more nervous when you watching your players playing, especially on the finals. I mean, you got more nervous, but you gotta handle it. You can breathe. You can start breathing, and then also there's no specific training in terms of that, because all you gotta do is just try to calm your player down, because you could basically talk to your players. So basically you try to calm them down to take a breathe. And then also I always said to my players, you play in the tournament like in the training, and then you train like you play in a tournament, because mentally when you have a tournament it's different feeling when you have a training. When you have a training you don't have any pressure at all, but as soon as you step into the tournament you gotta have a lot of pressure from everyone. Even when you step inside the court you gotta have that pressure. So basically, I just tell them to just relax, take a deep breath, and just enjoy your game. Do not think win or lose, because if you think win or lose, it will damage your performance as well. So all I gotta say to them is like, just focus on your game. Try to play correctly, and then nervous it's normal, pressure is normal. So just play the way you play, and then win or lose is number two. Just play correctly, and then just enjoy your game. That's what I always tell my players.
Sharath, a different perspective from you, right? Because cricket is a team. It's a team game, right? And then you have test and you have ODIs. How do you adapt yourself to different match situations?
I mean, yeah, cricket is a team sport, but if you actually look at it, it's like an individual team sport. Like you got to perform individually for the team to do well. And like Tanvi said, pressure is inevitable. Like it's a part of the sport, so you got to start to enjoy it, and try and learn new things out of it each day that you go out. And again, like I want to repeat myself, I was very fortunate. My trainer, Roshan sir, like the person I'm training under, he pushes me a lot during my training session, so that adds to my mental strength. Like wherein you're putting 70-75% of your effort during a training session, to put that extra 25% and be at your best takes a lot of mental strength. And these kind of small things add to becoming mentally strong eventually at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that's about it. Like it's just being there, going out and exploring and being expressive at each moment and each stage of the game. Different kind of pressure comes in different situations and in different kind of tournaments. So it's all about how you practice. What are your routines that you follow? And just because it's a practice session, you can't take it for granted and do the things that you don't do it in a match. What you practice off the field, rubs on to your game on the field. And I've always believed whatever character you are off the field makes you the person on the field. So it's just about expressing. So if you are true to yourself and do the right kind of things, the pressure factor for you on the ground would probably be much lesser. and that will come to you with experience. I've learned through experience, watching my seniors around, talking to a lot of seniors. Karnataka obviously has produced a lot of legends. Interacting with them, asking them about how they handle pressure in different situations. Yeah, so that's how I handle pressure.
Tanvi, this is for you. The gender bias exists in sports. Have you experienced it? Will you please share?
Oh, maybe initially with respect to prize money, there was a bit of a discrepancy. But now it's more or less ironed out, and there's a lot of talk about, equal rights and equal pay and all of that coming up. So I think it's a lot better now. The only thing maybe that we did feel a bit is that the women's contingent never had a female physio or a female manager traveling with us. It was mainly a male dominated squad. So if that can change, that will help, because sometimes you do need a female manager or a female physio to kind of understand you mentally more than anything else. Yeah.
Anything you have to add here, Sharat and Anas, on gender bias? I'm just curious. Have you
Excuse me,
heard
you're talking.
anything?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, do you think it exists? Can throw some light on
Yes,
gender
no,
bias.
I'm.
You're not audible to us. Can you please repeat the question?
Yes, can you please repeat the question? I didn't really get the question.
Does gender bias exist in sports?
Ah,
Do you throw some light on that?
um, for me, I think it depends, right? There are some coaches which is like uh, female handling female and male handling male, but for me, I think I don't know. There's I don't think it's really exists. It's just how you manage your players, either though it's male or female. So basically, for me, I think it's the same for me.
So, any challenges, setbacks you have to face in your career? How do you navigate? Sharat, to you.
I'm not able to hear you. Can you please repeat?
Okay. Any challenges, setbacks you had to face in your career, and how do you navigate through it?
Yeah, there have been quite a few ups and downs post my under 19. I was also dropped from the team after being the under 19 Karnataka captain. I had a very rough season, and I didn't really do well. Things were all over the place. I couldn't really channelize my energy in one direction. My mind was everywhere. Um, at that stage, I didn't know if I wanted to continue the sport, where I was heading, and with so much competition around, and cricket in itself was growing, and it was very fast paced. To catch up with that and all of that, it took me quite some time to really understand if I really want to continue the sport from here. And at that time, I think my parents and my brother were my support system. They said, you've reached here because you're good enough. That's why you're playing the sport. So you don't really have to go there to prove anything to anybody. It is, you chose the sport because you wanted to. Nobody really forced me to play the sport. So it was all out of my will and passion. These kind of small encouraging words from people around. I was really lucky to have amazing friends around me. I found myself a mentor. I found myself a very good trainer, and I had this one corporate team that I play for. It's called the N1 Cricket Academy, and they constantly made me play a lot of these matches, though they were not recognized. I'd go out there, try all the different kind of things I would want to implicate in a state game. For somebody to have recognized that and given me that opportunity and said, no, like, you are good enough, like, go out there and express, irrespective of you're doing well or not doing well. Try and find who you really are as a sports person. I think whatever I am today is because of everyone around me, they have made me, and I'm really grateful to have such kind of people. Uh, yeah, and I was also considered a test cricketer. Most of the time I wouldn't bat at a very high strike rate. For me to convert myself from a test cricketer to playing one day cricket, these kind of matches and the small motivation words that people gave me around, it truly inspired me, and I started believing in myself more. And I worked a lot with my mentor in terms of breaking my belief system, trying to understand what my patterns are, and why I'm not really able to, transform from a test cricketer to a one day cricketer. And now I slowly see myself, adapt to each of the formats. And I'm happy with the way I'm progressing, and everything's falling in line. So I'm grateful to that. And yeah, these are some of the challenges that I faced, and uh, subtle things that I made help me overcome.
How about you, Tanvi?
I think setbacks have been a part and parcel of the entire journey because, after becoming junior national champion, I moved to Hyderabad, which was the national center, and that was when I was first exposed to, the whole international badminton arena. There was, till then, I was training in my hometown in Mumbai, and yes, I was doing the best I could, but when you're at the national center and you have Saina Nehwal on your right and Parupali Kashyap on your left and PV Sindhu in front of you, it's very difficult to, it's a different ball game. So the number of hours that you put in, the structure of training, everything changes. So the kind of tournaments you start participating in international badminton is very very different. It's a different ball game compared to the Indian circuit. It's a lot faster. There's it's a lot more professional. So yeah, that's where that you had to grow as a person mentally, set smaller goals from time to time, work every time there was a certain ranking to be achieved or a certain milestone. You had to literally work backwards to peak at that event. So I think it took a lot to get to winning that Asian Games bronze medal or the Uber Cup bronze medal, because it was a step by step process. There were plenty of setbacks along the way, whether it was correction, technical footwork corrections, which really meant going back to basics. um, I had to work on my attack. I was till then more of a retriever, more of a defensive player who would chase down the opponent. International badminton, you have to have an attacking side to your game. You have to be explosive. You have to be fast. You can't just retrieve and win matches. So I had to add a lot of numerous dimensions to my game, and that takes effort. That takes a lot of mental and physical effort and energy. You need the right kind of people around you, and I was lucky to have coaches working 20, and that environment at the national center. It's literally like a factory. Sessions start at 4:30 in the morning, go on till 7:38 in the evening. So you're just eating, drinking, sleeping the game, and you have people to help you. You have your teammates, you have your coaches. So it's a very the atmosphere there just fuels that kind of effort. You're pushing yourself every day. You're working on you're making your strength stronger. You're working at eliminating your weaknesses, and you're challenged every day because you're with your competitors, you're with your teammates, but they're also your competitors. So you're challenging yourself in practice games every day. So setbacks will definitely come. Sometimes you're dropped from teams. There was a time when I was ranked number one in the country, but wasn't part of the Premier Badminton League for 2 seasons. So that was, everyone's at the PBL. I'm at the National Center. I was literally the only person there with 10 coaches to train me. So I had to, it's very easy to fall back mentally, but I had to look at it, as an opportunity that, okay, I have 10 coaches here, and I have a month of, their exclusive attention. What's the best I can do? So it always, you have to look at the positive side and try, and that's the mentality you have to develop.
So, Anas, as a coach, how do you do that? Because failures are going to happen and
Just
get demotivated.
true. Sometimes you need to challenge that back in your life. Even if you are world number one, so you need to have a challenge setback. So if you think positively, it will just make you even better than what you are right now. You understand? So you gotta go back and you gotta train harder. So you always have to think positive. I know it's not easy sometimes to think very positive as an athlete, as a normal person, but you gotta think twice before you gotta do something. And then a challenge setback is that, like, if you think about positive way, that means that you gotta train harder, and then you gotta let yourself know that you can do better than yourself. You look yourself into the mirror, that you gotta motivate yourself always positive. So it's simple, but it's not simple. But you just have to have that mentality
Not give up.
to be, yeah, don't give up, of course, and then positive, because like we've learned, from very top athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. So each one of them, it's like, okay, he's better than me, so I gotta do better for myself. So each one of them, they trying to be a better version of themselves, as long as you think about it positive, not in a negative way. So it can boost up the level of your game in terms of in yourself. You understand? So just it's a common thing in the world of sports like that.
So this is really inspirational. But I want to now change the tone to a more positive, to a more positive tone here. Okay, so if I were to just ask each of you all, right, what is that one advice you would give kids or youngsters about importance of sports? And a follow-up question is, describe sports for you. What does sports mean to you in 2 words? The first question, what advice? And the second one is, in 2 words, what does sports mean to you? So, Sharath.
One advice I give the youngsters is follow your heart, chase your dreams, don't ever give up. There will be challenging situations, there will be ups and downs, but that's what is going to make you. Um, Sport is just a part of your life. You'll play it until, say, a certain age, but there's life beyond that. So, whatever age you're playing, just enjoy your sport, give it all, um, and listen to yourself all the time. Your Nothing's greater than your gut feeling. Uh, just keep following that. And what I'd express cricket as, I think it's a form of expression in itself for me.
Yeah, I know when you were discussing, you said it's like an art form that stuck to me.
Yeah, it's
So,
more of an
sports is
art
also
form.
an art, right?
Yeah, like think about it, like you get to express so much, like there are so many challenges that comes your way. Your true character actually comes out when you are under pressure, when you are given certain challenges. So that's how you really know, like there are moments in your sport wherein you've achieved something or you've done something and you're like, oh yeah, like I was capable of doing it. So you are actually expressing yourself and bringing color to who you really are, in terms of what mental strength you have, the capacity or the physical ability that you have to conquer these challenges and keep climbing each day and level up yourself. So it in itself is like an art form, for me. Like when I'm wicket keeping, how I can actually motivate people around me. When I'm batting, how I can handle the pressure and help my team cross the target, or finish games for my team. If you're able to do that, I think off the field, any life challenge that is thrown at you, face it with a smile and be like, yeah, like I have faced this in a different form. I can obviously do it here as a person as well. So I really truly feel that it's a form of expression. It's an art to handle the challenges and just sail through it and be who you really are. So yeah, that's art for
Great.
me.
So, sports is an art. Tanvi.
I think as an advice, There would be two things. One is perseverance, number one, because okay, today there are a lot of concepts like quality versus quantity. Our coaches today, there's a change, there's a shift in thinking. Earlier, it was all about putting in the hours, putting in 10 hours, 15 hours, and you'll be a better player. But now it's all about smart work. It's all about setting your goals, working backwards, realizing that work life balance is important, realizing that rest is important. Um, Especially as a youngster, it's very easy to overtrain. You see people, your competitors around you, it's very easy to put in more than is necessary, thinking that it's going to yield me the results. But um, training smart is really important. Rest is really important. So though there's no short circuit around hard work, you have to put in the hours, you have to put in smart hours. You have to, there's a saying that practice makes you perfect, but it's perfect practice that makes you perfect. It's not always just being on court and putting in the hours. It's all about actually being smart about the work you're doing. And I think that's something that as an Indian sports person, I learned when I started watching some of the way the Europeans train. They don't train as much as we do. They put in a lot less in terms of the number of hours. But when they're on court for 4 hours every day, it's a job. And they're so professional about the way they handle their time, their goals, their the input that goes in on court. It's evaluated like a job. So that is something that I would put out there to the youngsters. I mean, have your fun, enjoy the game, because it's not life and death. There are pressure situations, but it's not life and death. It's you're doing the sport because you love it, because you enjoy it. Like Sharat said, it's a form of expression, and you have to be in a state of flow and to express your skills. You can't be, your hand can't be tight, and you can't be feeling so pressurized that you can't actually display that skill. So you need to be having fun when you're on court. But at the same time, be smart about the work that you're putting in, because you're spending more time in training and practice than tournaments. Tournaments are far and few as compared to the number of hours you put in training. And once all the work is done, the second point would be having faith. Because if you don't have faith, whether you're having faith in yourself, or you have faith in God, or you have faith in a coach or whoever, it may be an energy, whatever, you need to have faith in something. Because unless you detach from what you've worked for, if you feel you're not going to be able to express yourself. So yes, we put in so much that we very often, it becomes like life and death for us. It becomes like, what if I lose is the first thought. Fear of failure is the topmost emotion. But you have to learn to play with a detached mindset, because that's when you'll actually experience that state of flow that we all talk about as sports persons. You need to have faith that I will be able to express myself on match day. It's like writing an exam. If you're going to go intense, you're going to forget all your answers. So you need to be relaxed. I've done the work, and now enjoy yourself, have fun. And two words to express sport, I think one would be fun, and the other would be resilience, because that comes with being a sports person. You fall 9 times, and you have to stand up the 10th time and try again.
Great,
So
great.
yeah,
Very well
those are the
said.
two. Thank you.
Anas, quickly, what is your advice and your two words?
I'll start with the two words first. Sports, easy, simple. My life. That's two words for sports. So my advice for the youngsters, for the kids, is that uh, keep believing in your dream. If sports it's what you wanted, keep believing it. It will be not easy road, but you gotta have to believe in yourself, and then you gotta be disciplined. You gotta be trained hard, and then no matter what the people say about you, at times you will fail a lot of times, but you need to get back up as always, to have a strong character, to have a strong mentality, and you got to be disciplined. This is the number one thing in sports. You got to be disciplined, because if you don't have discipline, it will be tough. A lot of young talents, a lot of top talent players uh, who don't have a discipline, it'll be very tough for them once they reach at their peak. So just simple for me to explain to them. My motivation to them is just like keep chasing your dream and believe in yourself. That's it. As simple as that.
Great, great. Beautiful. Over to
And
you,
nutrition
Rita.
and diet. Yeah, nutrition and diet. How important is that? Sharath, over to you.
Um, I think until I was about 21, I was this chubby kid, with like a cute belly and all of that. And once I made my Ranji Trophy debut, I saw a lot of these seniors like Manish, Rahul, and all of them around me. They were so disciplined in terms of what they were eating as well, and that aids a lot to your performance. Like it adds to your game mindset, like recovering by eating right is so important. Like a 4-day game, you finish 1 day of play and then you go back. It's so important for you to eat right and not eat junk food so that you're fresh the next day. All these kind of things that I learned and picked up from my seniors, and I started working with a nutritionist. That's when I transformed, and yeah, she's helped me a lot. It gives me that sense of being fresh the next day. Give me much more energy. Eating right gives me much more energy to uh, play my sport, and be whatever hours that I'm spending on the ground, I am there. And your body has to support your mind, because you can't keep constantly pushing through your mind. At some stage you need to be feel strong, feel good. So I really think nutrition is very important. Your eating habits make you, especially during the season, and putting in so many hours of practice and training. If you don't love your body and eat the right kind of food, I think when it matters the most, your body will give up on you. So yeah,
You.
that's
Okay.
how I see it. Your nutrition, you need to love your body and feed it the right kind of things, so that it gives you so much more strength and power to express yourself when you ask it to be there for you when it's needed the most. So the mind and body have to be in sync, and
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
nutrition really adds a value. Actually, a shout out to my nutritionist Sayali. Like, she's helped me a lot. If you're watching, thank you so much again. I know you don't let me eat junk food and stuff, but yeah, it's good that you keep me going all the time.
And Tanvi, your turn.
I think I've always been a strong believer in the mind body connection. What you put in is going to affect the way you feel, the way you think. Obviously, your performance, your recovery, everything depends on how you fuel yourself. So, uh, I've always been quite particular about what I put in my system. Um, of course, it changes from time to time. Depends on the number of hours you're training. Depends on pre-season, during season, off season. Whether you want to, put on muscle, you want to reduce fat. So everything depends on your physical goal at that point of time. But ultimately, there are certain guidelines like avoiding too much sugar, avoiding uh, junk food, processed foods, foods high in saturated fats. That these are the basics that just you tend to follow. Eat a higher protein diet. Eat your carbs in and around uh, your competition or your training. Fuel yourself. Basically, as an athlete, we tend to need to look at food a little differently. Sometimes you get emotional, you feel deprived, that you can't eat the food that you want. It's my birthday today, I want to eat cake. But so treat yourself occasionally, because life is it's important to enjoy those moments in life as well. But overall, be smart about your food, because it's going to affect the way you train, it's going to affect the way you recover. And if you're investing so many hours, and you're putting in so much effort into your training sessions, then the food has to support your goal. You have to be recovering well, you have to sleep well. Sleep and hydration are like paramount to every athlete. So if you're going to be eating food high in oil or in spice, it's going to mess with your digestion. You're going to probably wake up feeling uneasy. that's going to have a ripple effect on your training. So it's very important to kind of manage your gut well. The gut is basically your second brain. It's There's a reason why a lot of the athletes have stomach upsets before an important event, because your gut is your second brain. So what you put into your body has to kind of align with, has to make you feel good, because that's going to affect your performance. So that's something I would want to see a lot of the youngsters even pick up. And the earlier on you inculcate good habits, it just goes a long way. Um, Now, of course, there's a lot with social media and people following
Awareness.
yeah, and there are sporting icons who are advocating eating healthy, training well, looking fit. So the youngsters are exposed to that early on, and if they inculcate those habits, it's just going to go a long way. Even as a lifestyle, it's just a good thing. Not reaching for sugar too often is not going to harm you. So so yeah, that's
So
been my
Anas,
experience with
as a
nutrition.
coach, yeah, we'll hear from Anas as a coach. What
Yeah,
is
of
your
course. Of course, you gotta control of what you're eating. Also, you gotta rest in a good amount of time. Uh, for me as a coach, I mean, I've been coaching in some different uh, people from around the world.
different
But
countries?
yes, yes. So I don't really. I mean, yes, you have to take care of what you're eating, of course, and less junk food, less sugar. But it's not like I'm very strict to them. They can enjoy at times, like once or twice in a month. I know that they have a hard training and they gotta control their body. So and it will increase your performance as well when you're eating healthy. You're eating a lot of fruits. You're eating veg, and you're eating, you know, carbs. So but for me, I just tell them that all right, you control your food, and then if you want to enjoy, you can enjoy tonight. You earn it if they train very hard. And I can see from their faces, like if they want to eat something really, like junk food or cakes or
Missing out on
what,
something.
yeah, whatever it is, I can see, when they are really tested. I said, all right, I don't mind, okay, but then you have to control your food again starting next week. So for me, basically, it's like that. As long as you come to the training fit and you have a good rest, so then we can continue again.
Unless I
So
think you should
taking
probably
that cue,
teach me how you read people. You said you read the face and then say, okay, he wants to eat something, right? I think probably you should teach me how to have like a poker face so I can run away from my nutritionist and tell her tell her, no, I really want to eat some food.
I know. I can teach you. I'll send you a message.
so
I
I'm
think
taking a
reverse
cue from
psychology.
that now. I'm taking
I
a
think that's
cue
reverse
from
psychology, Sharath. You should probably tell your nutritionist. I think I should avoid that. And I should be like, no. I think you should go enjoy it.
She's watching
No, I
it.
mean there
Yeah,
have been times
Siley
where
is probably.
she's seen me eat food on someone else's social media, and like she sends me a message, where are you, what are you eating, why are you eating that? So it's very hard, like, hide from
So since we're all
Because
talking about food here, and we've been here now for 1 hour, we've had such an amazing discussion. I don't think we would want to even end this. But I know I also took a cue from Anas, where he said, I look at their face and I figure out, whether they want to have something. I know. Thank you so much for your time. Right, really inspirational journey, and what all you all have achieved and what you have learned on the way.
Thank
I
you.
think we're really fortunate to have got time from each of y'all and to hear from you. So thank you once more on behalf of Wiki Karnataka Human Resource Council, right?
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
Thank you for
Signing
having
off.
us. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
thank
everyone.
you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
thank thank
Have a
thank
great
you for
evening.
having me here. And I kept seeing a lot of comments pop up during the thing.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to
Yeah, we
all of you
can
for
take
sending
any
so
of
many
those
messages.
questions.
It really felt, keep all of us in your prayers and cheer for us, and we definitely need like your energy and support all the time. And yeah, once again I want to thank all my friends, my coaches, my trainers, who are a part of the show and my life so far. Thank you again, and grateful to you all. Nice, having Tanvi here on the show and talking to her, and Anas, of course. Thank you guys. Of course.
Thank you. Nice meeting you,
All the best,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Yes,
See
keep
you.
in touch. Bye bye.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
luck,
Bye.
Tanvi. Good luck, Anas.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
luck.
Good luck,
Good luck,
Tanvi.